Well, the Orioles come into this three-game weekend series having won 3 consecutive games, and they're now back within 2 games of the 500 mark. And in his pregame meeting with reporters, Buck Showalter was asked if, because they're on a surge and getting close and getting back to 500, if that makes this weekend series all the more important.
It's a number you got to get to and pass to get where you want to go during the season, but you know, it's Tampa's quite a challenge. You know, they're playing well, doing a lot of things that everybody knew they would do eventually, and obviously their starting pitching's good. So, you know, we obviously have to play at a high level in order to do that. But you know, I'm trying not to say one day at a time, one game at a time, but it is kind of a correct cliche. But we understand that the math of common denominators are teams that have a good season. At some point we got to get to and pass that threshold as an organization.
Well, when you look at this Tampa rotation, you look at Hellickson and Price and Davis and, you know, all these guys.
Cobb. You seen Cobb?
I haven't seen him pitch yet.
Yeah, I unfortunately have.
But I mean, you look at those guys. Is that kind of the way teams really need to do it nowadays? If they're not, you know, if they don't have the money, or if they don't, you know, they can't spend $200 million or whatever, it's just trying to produce through pitching.
Well, they would tell you that they weren't free in the draft. You know, you look at what they had to give Price and what, you know, there's, but obviously their salary doesn't stay at that the whole time. That's a one-time thing. But, you know, for years, it's still about evaluating. You know, for years they had first-round picks and early picks in the draft and weren't able to hit on the right guys, and now they've gone through a period, whether it be Longoria or Price or, you know, even Hellickson, even though if you look at where these guys were drafted, so it can be done. And I appreciate the fact that they've eliminated a lot of excuses for people that don't spend like the Yankees and Red Sox and some of the other clubs do. You know, it can be done. It still boils down to player evaluation and also of developing those players down below. It's twofold, and you know, they've done a good job with it, and they've done a good job of staying true to who they are and who they acquire.
Like when you look at the standings and just the fact that the last place team is still just 6 games out of first place, are you surprised this late in the season how much parity there is in this division? It's supposed to be the toughest in baseball.
Now, and if you look at the loss column, it's less than that. Not that I've looked at it, but there's a lot of good teams in it. We're just trying to be one of them, and we look like it as a given with Boston and Tampa and New York. And I've said before, I said in the spring, I thought Toronto had one of the better off seasons of any team, and their young pitching, the things they're able to do to you, especially against left-hand pitching, and but like I said, it's that time of year where teams start separating themselves. You know, when it's usually hand in hand when the weather starts heating up, is the contenders and the pretenders get separated. But you know, it's still, what if we played X number of games? And we're getting ready to head in July and August, and that's really where you get exposed, good or bad.